Hey y'all, it's Indigo here, coming at you with round one of this is week 4 of Grand Arena Season 3. And let me recap this round, show you kind of how things went. Take a look at the board here, and you can see that my opponent set General Skywalker and a General Grievous team both down south, blocking the front zone. So we'll take out his General Skywalker. Is not a Relic 7, thankfully, but my CLS team that I'm using right there is tuned to take out a Relic 7. I got it from Warriors video showing you how to mod and what relic levels you need and all that. So I've got Relic 7, Han and Chewie. I got Relic 6, Luke, Relic 3, Old Ben, and C3PO. And you got to mod them just right, but definitely works. And if it works on Relic 7, it's definitely going to work on a Gear 11. So this is what I like to use, and it gets through, and you can still get decent banners on this team. You don't have to worry about, Padme team working or not. And you'll be able to pick up some decent banners and still have a lot of firepower left for the other zones. And this being the 4th week of the Grand Arena Championships, I've almost got Kyber locked down. I need to get like 1,900 points, I think, in each match and do a couple of feats. And if I do that, I don't even need any win bonuses. So I'm free this week to be able to try different matchups and things. If you guys want to throw some comments out there, maybe there's some interesting matchups that I can try on offense. I don't have any control over what my opponent puts down, but I just get tired of the same stuff. Like, okay, you see, this is the General Grievous team and a Bastille-led Jedi Knight Revan team. You've probably seen this 100 times, or however many Grand Arena videos you watch. Everybody uses this. So I want to do something different. I get tired of doing kind of the same stuff over and over. And especially if I can still hit Kyber, I want to try some different things. I can tell you guys right now, while this is going on, I have been working on my Nightsisters, trying to get the process down so I could use Nightsisters to take out a General Grievous team. I think that's really interesting. And I will give a quick shout out to all those guys on the Nightsister faction server. If you guys don't know this, there's a server for every different faction in the game, I think. And so anytime I have a question, if I don't personally know an expert on the subject, I'll head over to the faction server and just start asking them a bunch of questions. And in this case, I've been visiting the Nightsister faction server and asking them, can my Nightsisters take out Grievous? Can they take out Geos? Can they take out Karth teams? The more that you can get kind of a versatile squad that's going to take out several different types of other squads, then you could start using that on offense and maybe putting something else down in its place on defense. Anything you can do to shake up your opponent. Because you see these same old matchups get kind of stale if you don't throw any variety into them. Like this is a Grievous team, and you know that you take out B2 first, then you wait and kill time doing basics and stuff until you can get a direct focus up and take out Grievous. So until that happens, you're just doing basics, killing time. And then there I got direct focus, throw that down on Grievous, and start going to town on him with as much damage as I can do, spreading the buffs around and whatnot. But it's kind of old hat. It's like we've done it. And so this is the way. This is the way. Yes, this is the way you do it. So that's what I'm doing, is just taking out this Grievous team. But I'm constantly looking for different things I can do, or new ways to split up teams that might throw your opponents off. I've got a chat with some buddies, and we're talking about different team comps that we come across and how everyone's using a pretty predictable defense. Not a lot of people are putting, crazy teams together. It's more of a strategy, and you guys can tell me if it's the same way for y'all, is your opponent will keep the top 5 meta counters, Darth Revan, Jedi Revan, Traya, CLS, Padme. All right, so they got those 5 for offense, and then they only need 2 more. And so out of those other 2 might be First Order and JTR or Imp Troopers, and that's it. That's all they need to do to clear your board, and then it's just a game of efficiency. So you want to try and get 60 banners on everybody that you can get. So beyond that, they're going to put down the same stuff, mediocre defense. And I've had a lot of complaints from my patrons saying the same thing, that it's a mediocre defense and a high efficiency offense game. And whoever makes the mistake, loses. So right there, together, the Grievous team, 59 banners. So as strong as that team is, it's like it's figured out now. So we broke through in the back. You can see I opened up the second zone. He's got Geos there, and he's got a Kira Scoundrel team. Again, kind of a standard team, but would nest. So now that I know what's back there, I can budget my remaining teams accordingly. And I did put some weird stuff on defense so I could try out a couple different things on offense. I wanted to see his Nightsisters there. I wanted to try out this First Order with Watt team. You might have seen a couple people use that, and I had never used it. This is my first time trying it out. One thing I found out real quick that you'll see here, it's going along fine, but then MT gets her turn and just AoE kills Watt before he can get that second tech out. And that's a huge no-no. Like, this whole run went to shit. And luckily, I was able to back out of it in time before I loaded turn meter. Then I would be in real trouble. So, unfortunately, I didn't get to show y'all that matchup just because it's a little bit different. You got to be able to get that second tech out. And I guess the good thing about losing a battle makes you go back and figure out kind of why it failed and what went wrong. And yes, his Mother Talzin is loaded for offense, but what happened was my Watt was 1 speed slower than his Mother Talzin. So if he would have been another speed faster, they would have tied, or 2 faster, he would have gone and been able to get out the weapons tech that he needed to on Executioner to make the team work. And so it's things like that that you only learn really by doing, cover all your bases. So unfortunately that failed, but nothing you can do, live and learn. So I took Padme and decided to go ahead and just throw Padme in against Nightsisters, because obviously that's a counter that works. But again, you've probably seen it 100 times, just because it is a standard counter. That's a good one. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with using Padme against this, but it would be nice to use First Order and then now save Padme for, a different team. So, got my Padme. They do pretty good. You can get about 55 banners. It just depends. You got enough healing on here, but you tend to lose all your protection. So you can see I was able to heal up there, kind of get rid of the plague, try and keep that protection up on everybody. That way you don't have to worry about the debuffs sticking and plague spreading around to everybody. Got Shakti to help with that, and then of course my Xeris. You can see I'm trying to stack up some protection to, be able to take some of these guys out, and then as soon as I do, I get stuck behind a taunt or something. So I got rid of Daka, who's the biggest pain. It would have been nice to show y'all that First Order, but didn't work out that way. So I'm stuck behind Zombie Taunt here, but I'm burning stacks of courage and, killing Zombie, getting rid of it. Just gotta keep going until I can get a good hit in. Luckily, when Anakin's turn comes around, able to take out Asajj there. Got the dog pile, but it only took GK to take out Mother Talzin. Now I just got Spirit and Zombie left, which is pretty par for the course. Take out Spirit here. And now I just got Zombie to clean up. Another hit, and that should take care of her. And there we go. So, took her out. It was only 36 that time. Like I said, I wish the other team would have worked, because that would have been a nice easy 60. But it didn't work out that way. So because I dropped a battle and lost a team, that makes you have to shift your plans around. I was going to do something else. And I mentioned the people at the Nightsisters server. I've been talking to them about trying to use Nightsisters versus Geos. They said it works really well, and I wanted to do that. But since I failed on the enemy Nightsisters, I need to have my Nightsisters take out a different team. So I had to throw in my Jawas because I knew they'd get the job done. So now we're going to take out the Scoundrels. Since he's got Nest in there, I had a couple different options, but I figured Traya would be the way to go. Just because of Nihilus being able to annihilate Nest, then I don't have to worry at least about getting stuck on Nest and dropping another battle. But again, it's not like something new. I really wanted to do with this round, not having the stress of having to win. I wanted to try out some new things, and it just didn't work out because I really wanted to see about using some different teams that I was thinking of to take these guys out without having to use the same old, bide your time and annihilate Nest and this and that, fracture L3, all that good stuff, because we've seen that. And we don't really have a testing arena where we can test different things. Or else, if I had a test account, I would love to show you guys tons of things that I'm always thinking of. But, I don't have access to that. So we get what we get, and I'll, show you what I can as it comes available. So I annihilated Nest, and it's just clean up on L3 and Zalbar and Kira there. Take her out, and then I just got the 2 tanks to worry about. So I'm working on her. Got my Held by Hatred up on Scion, so he's not going anywhere. And now it's just the 2 tanks. And isolate on one, fracture on the other. Makes it pretty easy to deal with. I've got Thrawn so I can recover some banners. Help out with that, dropping that battle. But it's not, it's not like it's too difficult to do. You just kind of juggle back and forth. L3 can get annoying because she shrugs the buffs off. Having a Gear 13 L3 is pretty nice. It just takes a lot longer to cut through her. I think if he would put like a Gear 13 on Zalbar and relic him up, he'd be really tough to get through too. That could eventually time you out, I would think. Maybe not if someone's going to burn Traya, but against standard teams like First Order that most people use for teams like this, I bet that could time you out. So, okay, while you guys are here watching this, I might as well say, I think that's going to be the key going forward until we get just some new teams or new meta-defining characters, is going to be how well can you mod and gear and relic your defensive squads. They need to be high enough that your opponent's going to trip up on their standard counters, because that's what happened to me with Nightsisters, just tripping up and not getting 60 or 55 or whatever. So and I've been constantly against opponents like that in this Grand Arena season, where I've got high relics to deal with and Gear 13 on characters you normally don't see. So here's something different, at least. Look at his team. He did a Separatist, Newt Dooku, but he put Wampa in there and then Chirrut and Baze. And since I still had my Nightsisters, I figured this was probably the best candidate, to be able to take those guys out using MT lead with the Plague. It's going to rip through this team. I mean, Chirrut heals, but other than that, they're not going to be able to do a whole lot. And my Nightsisters, now at least before lock, are all Gear 13, at least Relic 1 on all of them. Some of them are higher. And you can see I already got Wampa down in the yellow. I've got stuns out on the board. I mean, I'm kind of liking Nightsisters on offense. I just want to be able to take out better teams like Grievous or Jedi Knight Revan. If you can get your team tuned to those and have them as kind of a universal counter, it'd be well worth keeping them for offense. Especially since you saw just a bit ago, you throw Nightsisters on defense, if you stick with a standard counter like Padme, it really doesn't matter how relicked up they are. Padme's gonna beat them all unless your Padme is just utter crap. So, I don't know, something to think about anyway. I know I'm on a soapbox here, but while I have you, I might as well share my views on things. Maybe you'll learn something, even if it's what not to do. So, wrapping up this team here, you can see that my Nightsisters obviously aren't in danger of dying or anything. I only got 55 banners because they do lose protection, but it's going to be a surefire win. Here's something a little different. I kept my General Skywalker team for offense, and they're all relicked up. I've got Zetas on Echo now, and Fives just has the one Zeta on him, but I got all 4 on my General Skywalker. He's 6-star G11, and normally I put him on defense, but just like you guys saw, the counter that I used was my CLS. I looked and checked my opponent, and he's also got Relic CLS, High Relic Han and Chewie. So there's no sense putting him on defense because he's just going to CLS it. You can kind of tell what your opponent's going to use. And so I got 59 banners against his bounty hunters. And I didn't use imps because he had lightning fast bounty hunters. It was ridiculous. Like 315 Bosk, 316 Zam, and then add 30 more speed for Jango. It was ridiculous. So here's ships. He put down a Falcon fleet. I used Negotiator. Got 59 banners for that. Pretty standard stuff there. So that was me. I was able to at least clear his board. I had dropped 1 battle, but, you know, it's the best I could do while having a little bit of fun, I guess. Woke up. He did clear me too, and he didn't stumble on any of my teams. I set some different stuff in the back, and he did message me. He was a good guy, and he said the only reason he didn't fall for my trap is because he was able to practice on a team in arena against an arena buddy and see if, you know, his counters worked. Otherwise, he was going to have to burn his Darth Revan and not have him for the back zone, which he would have got stuck. He knows it and I know it, but unfortunately, he had an arena buddy out there to practice on, so he was able to one-shot everything and do so pretty efficiently. So he got 1913 to my 1887. So that's it for round 1. Hopefully you guys learned something, and we'll see you guys for the next round. Hopefully I can come up with some different teams and show you guys something new. Shout out to my buddy Mikayas. He runs a modding service. He'll go through, make sure you got the right squad compositions and the right mods on the right characters. Give your account a real nice tune-up. I'll put the link to his Discord in my description. Go ahead and check him out. Tell him Indigo sent you. Thanks for watching my video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share your comments down below, and hopefully you'll check out my other videos on my channel. Peace.